The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 52. They've pulled off the upset against the New England Patriots by a score of 41-33. Johnny Talk Sports to provide you with my Super Bowl 52 reaction and recap, and we'll kind of go along with what we could expect from both these teams heading into next season. So let's start off with the game tonight, of course. Now, the way I said the Eagles can win this game is if they scored early, grab early momentum, force the Patriots to play from behind. Even if it was just a field goal, it still shows that Philadelphia is here to play and they're not nervous whatsoever. And Nick Foles showed no nerves tonight. He showed that he belongs in the NFL. In fact, I don't know where Nick Foles is going to play next season, whether or not he's still going to be the backup next year, or if he's going to be a starter somewhere, maybe in Denver, maybe the Bills. Who knows? But Nick Foles showed why he's a great quarterback tonight. And they asserted their running game of Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount. That was another key I had for them. They asserted the running game. Even Corey Clement got in on the action. So ultimately, there was 3 points in this game. There was a lot of turning points in this game. The first one was the Eagles stopping Brandon Cooks short of the first down, forcing a field goal attempt, which of course that was the field goal that hit the upright, keeping the Eagles with a 9-3 lead. And the second turning point in this game was the Nick Foles touchdown pass to Corey Clement in the end zone. And of course, people were talking maybe this should have been overturned, but that looked like a call that can go in either direction. So I thought they got it right. In fact, both touchdowns they reviewed, they got them right. Now that was the turning point, because right after that was when the Patriots started to show us momentum. That's right after Gronkowski got effective in the game, because he was held to only one catch in the first half. You got to give the Eagles credit for containing Rob Gronkowski throughout that first half. Even though Gronk got going on the first possession in the second half, the Eagles still contained him pretty well. So that touchdown was much needed for Philadelphia, considering the Patriots had momentum in that game. And the second turning point in the game, this was after the Patriots took the lead on this play, where they found Rob Gronkowski for the second time. That was a turning point in the game. And then it showed how will the Eagles respond, because this was the only time the Eagles were down this game, the first and only time they were down the game. How would Nick Foles respond? Because he played in the whole game with the lead or with the score being tied. So how would he respond? And of course, let's just talk about the gutsy calls that Doug Peterson made tonight. 4th and 1. Right around midfield. Right around that no man's land. I thought they had to go for that because that was when the Patriots had momentum. And I thought it was 4-down territory, and they got the first down. Zach Ertz was another huge impact in the game. And the other gutsy call that Doug Peterson had was the trick play before the end of the first half. And the irony is the Patriots ran the play before, but it didn't work out for them. So when the Eagles ran it on 4th and goal, it worked out for them. So you got to give credit to Doug Peterson making the gutsy plays in this game. So Zach Ertz, he was such a difference maker on that final drive. Well, on the drive to give him the go-ahead touchdown. It ultimately was the go-ahead game-winning touchdown. Not only did he convert on that 4th and 1, but he also had the touchdown to give the Eagles the lead that they wouldn't surrender with 2:21 left. However, everyone thought that Brady, I was looking all through social media, everyone thought that was too much time for Brady. He had plenty of time. But the Eagles strip sacked him. And that limited the chance the Patriots had of fulfilling another fourth quarter comeback. But the Patriots defense, it held their own end, forcing a field goal attempt. So now you have an 8-point game. Tom Brady with one more chance to go down the field. And I didn't like the kickoff right after that because it got pinned inside their 10-yard line. I didn't like how they tried to lateral it. So it almost looked reminiscent to the first Patriots and Giants Super Bowl matchup where Brady has a chance to win the game. Well, on the final drive in itself, it felt reminiscent to the two Super Bowl Patriots versus Giants matchups because the first one, Tom Brady had a chance to extend the game, but he was pinned inside his own territory. But they got to midfield. Gronkowski made two great catches to give him a chance for a Hail Mary pass. So that was the first Super Bowl kind of reminisce, where they were pinned inside their own territory with a chance to win the game. Or in this case, extend the game. And then the second Patriots-Giants matchup, where they have a chance to extend the game in this sense with a Hail Mary pass. And Gronkowski toward the end zone, and he couldn't come up with it. Nobody on the Patriots could come up with it. The ball fell incomplete, and the Philadelphia Eagles win Super Bowl 52. So, where does this go on a list of Super Bowl victories? I think this should be toward the top because the Eagles had so much adversity, especially after Carson Wentz went down. Nobody except for Eagles fans thought that Nick Foles could lead them to the Super Bowl. Now, the Eagles were 10th in my playoff power rankings, but I did say that the Eagles, they have better wide receivers for Nick Foles this time around than what they did back in 2013, because the Eagles finally have free agency acquisitions and trade deadline acquisitions pay off. Trading for Jay Ajayi at the trade deadline. Trading for Ronald Darby in preseason. Now, the Eagles trade away Jordan Matthews to the Bills for Ronald Darby. That ultimately paid off. And the Eagles also signed Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith, and LeGarrette Blount in free agency. So the Eagles won this Super Bowl, not only with a backup quarterback, but they won it with free agency and trade deadline acquisitions. So this should go toward the top of the list of Super Bowl moments because the adversity the Eagles faced when Carson Wentz went down, forcing Nick Foles into action, and still managing to win the Super Bowl, being underdogs week after week after week, being underdogs in the divisional round at home, being underdogs in the NFC Championship game at home, being the underdogs in the Super Bowl, and they still managed to win those 3 games. This should go maybe in the top 3 of Super Bowl moments. I don't care what anybody says. From somebody that doubted the Eagles all season long, this should go down as a top 3 Super Bowl moment, considering the adversity the Eagles went through this season, in particular after Carson Wentz went down with the torn ACL injury. So, as far as will Nick Foles play in 2018, whether he's going to be the backup for Philadelphia again next season. But I could see some teams in free agency trying to wheel him over. Maybe Denver could. Maybe the Buffalo Bills could. Maybe even the Jaguars, even though I think Blake Bortles earned his keep, considering he led the Jaguars to the AFC Championship game. Could you imagine how good the Jaguars would be with Nick Foles at quarterback? Could you imagine how the Buffalo Bills could be with Nick Foles at quarterback? Or could Nick Foles even go to the Vikings, considering that Case Keenum, Sam Bradford, and Teddy Bridgewater are all free agents? And of course, since the Patriots lost the Super Bowl, we had to talk about what is the future for the Kraft, Brady, and Belichick era. In fact, Brady expects to return in 2018. People are thinking that there's a 5% chance that Belichick may not be the coach next season. And Josh McDaniels and Matt Patricia, the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, are leaving. Josh McDaniels leaving for the Colts. Matt Patricia's leaving for the Lions. So, was this the end of the Brady-Belichick era? I don't think it's the end of the era, but could it be the end of the dominance? Could be, could not be. Nobody can determine whether or not this is going to be the end of the dynasty, but it's most certainly the end of the dominance. In fact, I think Brady might play 2 more seasons. He might try to get number 6 next season, or could try to win another back-to-back for the next 2 years, getting 6 and 7. But this might be the end of the dominance. So, to put it all into words, this isn't the end of the Patriots dynasty, but it's the end of the dominance. And the one thing I want to know before we sign off, what's with the Patriots not playing Malcolm Butler? Considering Malcolm Butler was the hero in Super Bowl 49, Eric Rowe got burned all throughout this game tonight. The Patriots defense didn't show up. In fact, throughout the season, I know people that were thinking, and people were watching, that this Patriots defense would be the downfall of the Patriots. And it ultimately was. I think this is the worst defense we've ever seen in a Patriots Super Bowl. In fact, it actually is. Because the Patriots defense gave up 41 points. So this is obviously the worst Patriots defense we've seen in the Bill Belichick era. So, and plus Matt Patricia's leaving for the Lions. Who do they bring in for defensive coordinator? And I'm not too worried about the Patriots offensively because they'll have Edelman coming back next season. Brady expects to return. But Rob Gronkowski said that he would think about his future the next couple of weeks. So, what do you think? See, I want to know why Malcolm Butler didn't play in the game. That's the one thing that really puzzled because we saw Eric Rowe get burned. In fact, there are a bunch of tweets saying that why Malcolm Butler didn't play. In fact, the Patriots are expecting Malcolm Butler leaving free agency. So, could this be like the ignition point of the end of the Patriots dynasty? But let me just say this. As someone that's not really necessarily, I'm not a Patriots fan at all. I'm not really a Brady guy. But I respect what Brady's done in the NFL. But this isn't the end of the Kraft, Belichick, and Brady era or the dynasty, but it's the end of the dominance. And I'll be surprised if the Patriots end up winning 2 more Super Bowls in the Brady era. I just can't see it right now because just imagine if Carson Wentz was playing in the game tonight. Do you think the Eagles will win by a lot more than 8? I certainly think so. So right now, let's not focus on the end of a dynasty. Let's just focus on the end of a dominance. And maybe try to focus on a new dynasty. Because just imagine, because the Eagles, they should have the same looking lineup next season, and they get Carson Wentz to come back. So look out.